Hey YouTube, Mark here with another fragrance review. This time let's look into the niche house of L'Artisan Parfumeur. This release right here is probably one of their most controversial releases on the market. This one called Timbuktu. Now this is actually my very first review on the house of L'Artisan. Decided to go with Timbuktu. As you can see here, I have over a dozen bottles to review, so I still got a lot of work ahead of me. But Timbuktu was an interesting choice. I really think there's a lot of people on each side of the coin, love or hate, and I really wanted to give my 2 cents of this fragrance. Now, if you don't know much about L'Artisan Parfumeur as a fragrance house, they are one of the most known, definitely well-respected fragrance house, niche fragrance house on the market. They first started in 1976. They have over 75 fragrances available to the public. Male, female, unisex, you name it. They have a broad collection. I really think this fragrance house has probably 3 or 4 excellent fragrances for you, in my personal opinion, and then the rest are they're good. This fragrance house, this fragrance right here is part of their travel series. L'Artisan has like a travel series. These fragrances are very interesting. They have a backstory with them. It also includes Bois Farine. That's a Jean-Claude Elena fragrance. I can't wait to review that one. But it is a travel series. I absolutely love this, and you'll see the idea from Timbuktu. I'll let you guys know the backstory on this one. Now this house has excellent fragrances. They're complex, but the main negative point in this fragrance house that I hear online is performance issues with these fragrances, including longevity and projection. I always tell the users that watch my reviews, test on your own. I think some performance issues are exaggerated online, so definitely check it on your own skin and just judge yourself. Instead of reading reviews and saying longevity projection sucks and then bypass that fragrance. Definitely try it out for yourself. But if I have to say something, a knock on this fragrance house is their performance issues. Now this fragrance right here, Timbuktu, why is it, I would say, controversial in a way? Is because it has a cult following. You're going to know that there's a lot of renowned noses out there, guys that do what I do. They write books in magazines and things like that. Luca Turin and of course good friend Chandler Burr gave outstanding reviews to this fragrance. You're going to see a lot of blogs out there that do actually give great reviews to Timbuktu, and then on the flip side of the coin, there's people that just don't understand the reason why it's getting rave reviews. I'm going to let you guys know what I think of this fragrance in this review. Now, doing fragrance reviews and being a collector of myself, there's always a fragrance that I sniff from time to time that makes me think of the art of perfumery. It's such a beautiful art. This one right here, Timbuktu, does it for me. I see it as art and as something I would actually wear. Some fragrances I see as art and I just can't wear. But this one I can wear, and I can see people that'll just take this as art and can't wear it, or some people that just don't get it at all. This fragrance is complex in manner. It's an oriental that does not shout, but yet it lasts on the skin. Now the backstory on Timbuktu. This fragrance was inspired by the Parfumeur Bertrand de Chauffour's travel to an old African city, where this fragrance is an homage to Woussalan, which is the Malian art of perfume making in Africa. In traditional Woussalan, flowers, woods, roots, balms, and spices are macerated and then boiled, producing a smoke which is used to bathe the body. The smoke is believed to endow the wearer with magical, seductive properties. So de Chauffour is trying to recreate that with Timbuktu. Is this going to seduce people? I really think it's on the flip side of things. This is not a compliment getter. This fragrance right here is more of an art form than anything. But it does take me to the African city. It does take me to that. Now, if that didn't sell you on Timbuktu, this will. Wolverine wears this. Yes, Mr. Hugh Jackman. This is his signature scent. So let's get to presentation. I'm going to let you guys know what the bottle and box look like. Let's go. Alright guys, let's tackle presentation for L'Artisan Parfumeur's Timbuktu. We're going to take a look in detail at the box and the bottle. Most L'Artisan Parfumeur fragrances come in this set. You're going to see this type of bottle and this type of box. Hasn't changed much. The only way to really see if you got a vintage or an old Artisan bottle is by the cap. And I'm going to do like a short segment on Timbuktu here, and I'll show you the different caps. On the bottles, they just put stickers here, and on the box, you put a sticker here and at the top, and that will let you know which fragrance you purchased, of course. So let's take a look at the box first and foremost. The sticker with Timbuktu with the blue. You got, of course, the logo of L'Artisan Parfumeur Paris. You got it on this side too, and on this side. You're going to have tons of information in gold in the back of the box, and then at the bottom there's some information here. And there's a sticker, like I said, at the top of the box, which has a tree for Timbuktu that will represent that fragrance. And in French, it's going to describe the fragrance a little bit. I'm going to read this. Un filtre mystérieux, sauvage et envoûtant aux accents de bois et d'épices lointains. Basically, in a nutshell, it means a mysterious, savage-like fragrance which has accents of woods and spices in the background. And that definitely explains what Timbuktu is. Let's take a look at the bottle itself. Then you got your sticker here that says Timbuktu with the tree eau de toilette. If I flip it on this side, it has the name here, as you can see, L'Artisan Parfumeur Paris. There is a batch code on here. You probably won't see it in black. Right here, it's etched on the glass. And then on the cusp of the glass here, you got information like Artisan Parfumeur, made in France. Now the sprayers are decent for L'Artisan Parfumeur, as you can see here. Decent sprayers, little sprays here and there, so it's not the best in the business, of course. Now this. Alright guys, this is a segment that I wanted to tackle for Timbuktu. I believe it's going to be a good informational video for a lot of people, for L'Artisan Parfumeur bottles or collectors or lovers of this fragrance house. How to figure out if you have an older bottle or a newish juice. Or 2012 batch, and so on. When L'Artisan Parfumeur first started, they came out with these caps. This is the older version, so if you do receive a bottle that looks like this, or you see it on eBay or something like that, this is an older bottle version. Just the cap itself will tell you, with the Artisan Parfumeur logo, that this is an older bottle. This is what my Timbuktu came with. I believe they changed to this style in the near 2000s. Sometime in the 2000s they had these clear caps for the 1.7 ounce, and I believe they did not come in the 3.4 ounce. They changed to this in the 3.4 ounce bottles right away. Then I believe now in 2011, 2012, the 1.7 ounce do have a gold cap that looks like this, and this is your newish bottles, I believe. I know my 3.4 ounce, when they're new, they come in this cap. So this is a 3.4 ounce bottle that I just put on this guy, so it looks kind of big, and these have a lot of weight to them. Alright guys, let's tackle bottle sizes. L'Artisan Parfumeur, they only come in 2 bottle sizes. Most of their line does. This guy right here comes in a 1.7 ounce and a 3.4 ounce bottle. This is the little guy, the 1.7. You're looking at American retail around $100 to $150 American. There's not much leeway from that price unless you find it at a discounter. Timbuktu hit the shelves back in 2004. Has not been in any of my top 20 list as of yet. Surprising, kind of. I'll let you guys know why in the review. Now group, this is a woody chip, oriental, woody, spicy, in that group. Parfumeur, Super Nose, one of my favorites. I would say he's right behind Jean-Claude Eden as my second favorite Parfumeur of all time. This is Monsieur Bertrand de Chauffour. He is a master with incense. He has made, of course, Jubilation 25 for Amouage, Kyoto for Comme des Garçons. So if you give him an incense-based fragrance, he's probably going to hit it out of the park. Now, recommended age, this fragrance I think is for more of a mature nose, more of a, I would say, a veteran in the game as far as fragrances go. I say 30 and up. Now this fragrance can be unisex, is more designed as a masculine, but can definitely be worn by women. I've seen actually quite a bit of women wearing this fragrance. How many sprays and where? I go one on the chest, one on the neck and the back of the neck right here. Hit my hairline a little bit, of course, and two on the arms. One on each side right here. Boom, boom. Inner elbows. I'm good to go with this fragrance. Now let's take a look at the notes. Top notes. We got mango, pink pepper, berries, and cardamom. In the mid, we got frankincense, papyrus wood, and caricarude flower. Now, caricarude flower, of course, a little different. It's a flower in Africa, giving this fragrance a light herbal, floral tinge. And in the base, we have myrrh, vetiver, patchouli, and benzoin. The major players in this fragrance, I would say, is the vetiver and incense. This is basically an incense-based fragrance. There's a lot of the spices that are going to work itself, and woods. But the major players, I think this fragrance has two faces, incense and vetiver. Those are the two major players in this fragrance. So let's sniff it out. I'm going to let you guys know what Timbuktu smells like. Alright guys, time to sniff out Timbuktu. I'm going to let you guys know what this fragrance smells like from top to bottom. This is probably what you guys have been waiting for. This one's a complex one, so I'm really going to enjoy dissecting it. Gorgeous. I'm sure some people are going to ruffle their nose at this introduction. I'm sure of it, but for me, this is dark and it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, what hits me right off the bat is the incense. This is a frankincense-based fragrance right off the bat. A little bit of myrrh in here, but that takes center stage right off the bat. Now, the following notes take a supporting role to it very well. So, the secondary notes and all the other notes surrounding this incense support it so well, and that's what makes this probably giving it a cult-like following. The incense, dust, and spices are prominent. It's dusty, it's smoky, and there's some spices. There's a sweet fruity note that is underneath, almost smoked out or dusted out. It really feels like it comes in and out. The fruit amplifies when sprayed on paper. When I sprayed it on paper, I could really smell it, but on my skin, it was really more of a complimentary note. Now, the spice plays a secondary role here. They're high up there. The spice is up there in this fragrance. You got that dirty cardamom going. You got some pepperish like. You got that pink pepper. At times, you can almost smell this fragrance. The spice kind of gives you like a cumin smell. So people are gonna obviously go to the cooking spice, of course, body odor. That's what people think. In this fragrance, for me personally, cardamom plays a huge factor. Pepper. It's spicy, but it doesn't push the envelope so much. It's kind of like Rose 31, that where it doesn't push the envelope so much that I'm like, this spice is not tolerable. It's dry and smoky here. Spicy, woody, and rich. This intro immediately takes me back to a dry, dusty temple. It actually, like Africa, burning incenses. I know that the background story of this fragrance, what De Chafour did, really took me back to Africa, where I did stay for a few months and brought me right back into the thick of things. When I smelt this, I was like, oh yeah, I know what they're talking about. So that's scary, actually, how a scent can do that, like bring me back like years back when I was in Africa. It really reminded me of that time. So really uncanny. Now in the mid, this fragrance, the heart continues to have a soft incense. Now this incense is not churchy. I know that, you know, when you put incense, frankincense, and myrrh together, it makes you think of a church. No, it kind of reminded me of a tribal-like. It's not heavy, it's not cloying. It's paired with the myrrh. It's herbal, dry, and green with a small hint of florals. You can feel the patch and vetiver coming through in the mid with the papyrus wood. The wood here almost had like a creamy feel to it. Think sandalwood. They are a welcome addition to the smoke. Very nicely done. Again, both the patch and vetiver are soft in this fragrance. A lot of the notes in this fragrance are soft. They're not going to jump out at you. Now, the patch and the vetiver give way to the incense at the start of this mid. At this stage, the scent smells like an old, soft, dry wood, earthy, with smoky incense. At times in the mid, it seemed like the fragrance was going to shift, and at times it feels like the scent left your skin. And this is going to happen to a lot of wearers. It almost has like two faces. It's got the vetiver in the back, in the base, and the incense at the start. So that incense and the woods and the spice version of Timbuktu, and then it kind of morphs into the clean vetiver, patchouli, myrrh, also has a little bit of soft incense. That's like the second stage of Timbuktu, and sometimes it feels like it's going to shift in that area, and then sometimes it feels like the scent just left, and then it comes back to the vetiver, or it changes to the vetiver. After a while, the mid does give in to the myrrh, the vetiver, and the patch, almost giving this a wet, dank, grassy feeling, a hint of florals, green, but the incense is still kicking around. Now in the base, very much a dark ending with resins, incense, patch, vetiver. It has a soft, clean vetiver, think gray vetiver like. It makes people think of soap, clean. This vetiver is very nicely done, and it actually really softens this fragrance right off the bat, because that incense and spice at the start really could take the user aback, but then it softens up in the dry down. So let's get to the overview, and I'm going to let you guys know what I think of Timbuktu. Alright guys, time for the overview on Timbuktu. I believe this is one of those scents that you need time with, multiple wearings, to truly understand it and enjoy it. It really did take me a long time to really get the emotion or the art of Timbuktu. I believe when I first got this fragrance, I really wasn't impressed. There's a lot of reviewers out there that aren't impressed with this fragrance. I'm not saying that you haven't tried it fully like I did, but I'm saying my first month or two trying this fragrance, this was going to be on the negative aspect of this fragrance. But after 8 more months of testing this fragrance right here, I really feel like I've changed what I felt about Timbuktu. So definitely give this one a chance. If you don't love it already, you'll probably love it in the future. Now the overall feeling on this one is it's a skin scent. Everybody's going to tell you this is a skin scent. It's weak. The softness to it really intrigued me. Since with the note breakdown, I thought this was going to be a beast mode. But again, it's nice to have an oriental that does not shout. This one's way more versatile than a lot of incense-based fragrances that I know that are oriental, that are just shouting. It has a weird way of acting on my skin where this fragrance disappears, then comes back. It has done this multiple times, so you do have to give it a chance. It's very dry, it's got an earthy tendency, it's dusty and smoky at the same time. Very interesting scent, and I must say very unique. Not a panty dropper by any means, no. I feel that this fragrance is very masculine. I know a lot of people say that this has a soapy or floral quality. It does to a point, but I don't think that's the major aspect of Timbuktu. I really think it's the incense and the vetiver that are the major players in this one. This is a fragrance head's dream fragrance. It's complex, well done, well blended, and it's just beautiful. It's so well blended and not loud, it's just perfect. It can be worn year round, and I think that's a good aspect of Timbuktu. I love my shouting incense-based fragrances in the winter. You guys know that. You know, I'll take Jubilation 25 well over this fragrance. Yes, just because of I love to be bold. This fragrance is more like a safe, soft incense-based fragrance with, of course, that nice, clean vetiver in the background, in the base. I don't say much. I don't say this much in my reviews, but this fragrance right here is one that I wear for myself. I enjoy it so much. Compliment getter, this is not going to be one of those that just smells good and you're going to get tons of compliments. No, this is more for yourself. You want to smell it on yourself. This is what I want to smell like. Picture yourself in Africa with a camel, the warm air. You're in a spice market. You're wearing a leather messenger bag with camera in hand. Perhaps you're visiting an old tribe in Africa. You're adventurous. This is for the adventurer in you. Why would you hate this fragrance? Well, there's probably a lot of reasons out there. A lot of people are going to say why they hate it. Too woody, too sharp. The spices may make you think of sweat or cooking. Some people may get amplified florals and soapiness. Thank God I didn't get that. For me, this is absolutely gorgeous, and the florals and soapiness wasn't amplified enough for me. It really was a part of the picture, and I really like that. What word to describe this fragrance? Art. Bottles. Nothing really compares to this. I would say this is a melange of all these fragrances. Gucci Pour Homme 1, of course. The incense, it's not as thick as the Gucci Pour Homme, of course. Terre d'Hermès, it really reminded me of Terre d'Hermès because Terre d'Hermès kind of has that softness to it that you can wear year-round. This too, kind of that earthiness too. Of course, the vetiver. Kyoto, the incense in Kyoto, of course. Another de Chauffour fragrance. Grey vetiver is another great fragrance to compare this to, like a work scent. Best time to wear this fragrance while traveling. It just makes me picture somebody traveling with a camera in Africa. It just reminds me of that. You can wear it to work. You can wear it casually. Compliment factor is not bad. Not a panty dropper. You're not going to get tons of compliments with this fragrance, but you are going to get some. It's middle of the road. I would say probably, you're not wearing this to get compliments. If you're trying to get a bunch of attention, this is not for you. This is probably something that you are taking a lot of time to try to find a fragrance that is a part of you. This is that type of fragrance. Somebody that really loves this fragrance game, Timbuktu would be something that I would be wearing if I really, really took the time to look into a fragrance to be a part of me. My 2 cents. If you're looking for soft, transparent, incense-based fragrances that smells absolutely stunning, then look here. I personally love my big, bold incenses. You guys know this. But this is a welcome addition to my collection, and definitely a masterpiece from Bertrand de Chauffour. It's something different. Be careful with this one. It looks like it's a 50-50. Either you love it or you hate it. If you like vetiver also, I think this could be for you also. But you really have to like the incense in fragrances and the vetiver. So it's a two-way fragrance. By Try or Pass, I was really on the edge with this guy. Of course I was. With By Try or Pass. What am I going to give it? Because it's never in my top 20s. I think it's one of the top 3 fragrances in the L'Artisan Parfumeur house. I don't think it's their best fragrance, to be honest. But I think it's one of their top 3. I didn't like it when I first started, but I love it now. It's not bold enough to really make one of my top 20 lists because I really like something in fall and winter. I want something in my face. I wear this. It's in my arsenal. I think this is a buy. I really think I'm starting to join the cult. I told myself I wouldn't join no cult, but this fragrance is a stunner, and I have to give it props where props is due. I love it, and Timbuktu is an absolute buy from my eyes. I think it's one of the best from the house of L'Artisan Parfumeur. Get a sample at least. This, Zing, Tea for Two. There's a lot to name from this house that are great, but this is one of their top 3 scents, I believe.
All right,
so
guys,
let's get to the rating system
Timbuktu
and
projection. This is where it gets its worst score. 5 bottles out of 10. It's a skin scent. Longevity gets a little better. 7 bottles out of 10. It gives me 5 to 9 hours on the regular. This one gives and takes. Sometimes it's gone, sometimes it comes back. But contrary to most artisans, this is probably one of their best in the longevity department. Versatility, 8 out of 10. Better than most Orientals just because it's so soft. I can wear this at work, not offend. Overall smell, 10 bottles out of 10. Absolutely gorgeous scent. This is mostly for fall, winter, and spring, but I can wear this year-round. It's a soft, woody incense, which meets a soapy, floral vetiver. This fragrance has 2 major heads. It's one of the best from the L'Artisan house. It's not bold enough. What I mean is the incense is not strong enough for incense lovers, and the vetiver is kind of soft for vetiver lovers. So it's a middle of the road. Overall, I'm going to give this one 9 bottles out of 10.